lip skimming my nose. We never watch much of the movie anyway. He was right. I could never concentrate on a movie when I was busy guessing the journey his mouth and hands would take as we lay together. Narrowing my eyes, I pulled him toward my bed, but pretending is so much fun. His mouth curled with obvious amusement. You sure about that? Refusing to answer, I lay down, letting my brown hair fan around me as Tobias followed. He faced me, lowering himself until he was hovering dangerously close. In the past week, I'd gotten used to this routine, to us, but Tobias was never supposed to crawl under my skin. We were only supposed to be a spring fling. I stroked his cheek, memorizing every strong line of his face and loving the smooth texture of his skin as he kissed my palm. His lids closed at my touch. Turning my head, I let my eyes flicker to the moon outside the double doors. I pulled in a deep breath. The exhale was cleansing, and for a moment I forgot that the countdown to our end was ticking in the distance. When I was with him, I didn't want to think about him leaving for basketball and me leaving for dance. I wanted to spend every minute making up for lost time. Tobias and I had known each other since we were kids. He was my neighbor as well as my best friend's older brother. But I never really knew him, not the way I wanted to know him now. What would you have studied if you didn't have basketball? He appeared to ponder that for a moment before propping up on his elbow. When he spoke, he ran his finger along the edge of my waistband. That's easy. Sports management. I don't know if I ever saw a life for myself without basketball in it. But even thinking about my future, once I retire from the NBA, I'd love to teach or coach. His eyes flickered to mine. What about you? What would you want to study if you didn't have your sights set on being an NBA dancer? I ignored the wings in my chest that fluttered at the mention of my dream. Dancing in the NBA had been all I'd wanted since I was a little girl. Something in physics, I think. He pulled back, an amused gleam in his eyes. Really? Shrugging, I pointed at my window, where the moon hung perfectly centered in the frame. I've always been fascinated with nature and the mechanics behind it all. My parents got sick of me always asking how and handed me a set of encyclopedias. I laughed, knowing how that sounded. Yeah, encyclopedias. For extremely liberal parents whose careers relied on communication media, they had a thing against overstimulation before the age of 13. Whenever I had a question, I'd pull those suckers out and go down the rabbit hole of theories. Theories, huh? He bent his head, bringing his nose to my neck, running it along my sensitive skin before placing a gentle kiss there. What's your favorite one? I smiled. The misconception of the moon's strength. The moon may be small, but it's powerful enough to move oceans. He shifted so he was looking into my eyes. Really? Nodding, I ran my fingers up his arm, hating that nagging reminder in the back of my mind that one of these nights would be our last. How do you think the ocean tides are formed? He pitched a brow. From the moon? Close, from Earth's gravitational attraction of the moon. I smiled. I think it's kind of magical how powerful the moon's pull is. How a black piece of rock in the sky can move oceans, light up the midnight sky, and stabilize the rotation of the largest terrestrial planet in our solar system. A strand of hair fell into his eye during my geek-out. I was moving it away when his lip tipped at the corner. Did you just use the term terrestrial planet? I pushed against him with a laugh. Yes, kinda like you use the words drive penetration, pin downs, and shooting fundamentals. I cringed at my choice of terms as Tobias threw his head back and laughed. Growling, I pushed him onto his back and moved to sit up. He caught himself on his elbows, shot his arms out for me, and pulled me onto his lap. His chin tipped up, mine tipped down, and our lust-infused smiles met. How does it feel to be the short one? I teased. His hands were skimming the tops of my thighs. Feels damn good. He continued his ascent until his palms were cupping my ass through my yoga pants. Glad you asked. Laughing, I leaned down, teasing his lips with mine. You know what else feels good? His blue eyes darkened. Oh, I have an idea. Gentle fingers plucked at the hint of pink fabric peeking out from my pants. Pinching back his smile, I wiggled above him. His nose flared as he growled and pulled me closer. With my knees wrapped around him and my chest pressed to his, he buried his next words in my neck. You tease me like you don't think I'll rip these clothes right off you. My entire body heated as I tripped on my next breath. You threaten me like that would be a bad thing. The corner of his mouth curled with what I hoped